Which made this?
Unsurprisingly, there's nothing else to do at the train yard. I told you the rest of the game was nothing but short scenes. So, open your PDA to get a message from a forensic scientist at ATF who's performed an initial analysis of the bomb that blew up Gordon's Hauling. He's disconcerted to discover that a compound only used by Navy SEALs was involved in the production of the bomb. Gives us a paragraph-long techno-babbling description of how the bomb functions that could also be interpreted as a veiled reference to two particular characters in this game, and closes by explaining that he's worried there might be a Navy SEAL on the loose with an axe to grind. Does he mention that ATF will finally be joining in this investigation or starting their own? Does the message give us any information we didn't already know? Besides how to make a defuse-proof bomb. Sure, it confirms the military's involvement with all this, more so than the restricted access ING entry did, and I'm a sucker for facts being fleshed out. But, big spoiler unless you know the show, nobody is ever arrested. This info adds absolutely nothing to what remains of the story. And I hate sounding like a broken record. And I know there are people watching that think I'm just moaning about every little thing by now. But I really don't want that to be the case. And if I thought it held any ongoing investigation ramifications for the explosion, I would be happy that they were fleshing that out. But it doesn't. At all. Head back to the field office with Asta Dorian and put the tape in the deck you conveniently have hooked up to your computer.
Put it in.
That's a little unromantic, but if you insist. Of course that's what she meant.
What's up?
Mark Cook, Mary Astadorian, Mark Cook.
Nice to meet you.
Even though you completely lied to my boyfriend about calling me to discuss Smolderkoff, and you wear ties so ugly even Agent Mulder probably wouldn't be caught dead in them.
Okay, somebody's obviously cutting on something. What do these clandestine medical experiments have to do with Russian smugglers?
Yeah, and if this guy's a surgeon, what was he looking for at Gordon's Hauling?
And what was that experiment being performed?
I don't know. Whatever it was, the patient didn't look human.
Again, this is a reference to a videotape purchased by Mulder in the season 3 two-parter Niside/731, advertised as being footage of an alien autopsy. Leaving me wondering if the homeless guy provided a tape for that as well. I guess using sets and costumes from the series was a good way to keep some costs down.
Is there any way to ID the good doctor there?
Yeah, all you gotta do is take a frame of the video and match it against the databases. It can definitely be done.
Okay, so let's do it.
I know she's being bossy about the video capture, but sorry, I can't help but think of innuendos again. Anyway, yeah, apparently this is another convenient tool we can do with our computer. But unlike when we had to take a photo of the license plate, the game doesn't let us try to get the perfect screen grab ourselves. It loads in a picture and all we have to do is select the military database. It could be argued that the email about the bomb is necessary to help you know which database to run the photo through, but we could just as easily have gone through each one like we've done every other time until we got the right one. We learn the name of the mystery man is Colonel John Roush, who's now stationed at Eisenhower Field in Alaska. There is a bunch of national security censored career stuff you can read, but it's really not interesting and doesn't teach us anything relevant.
Bingo. Okay, what do we have here? Dr. Jonathan Roush.
That's him, all right. Wow, military, huh?
Well, looks that way.
No! Seriously! We have two sources that indicate the involvement of the military by this point. This shouldn't be so surprising. Admittedly, they sound more mildly inconvenienced than surprised, but you know what I mean.
What's that?
Someone's trying to establish a video conferencing link.
Oh, what the hell. Never really tried to use this thing before.
Yay for 90s technology and the interwebs! Although, I would like to commend Wilmore for having the best connection ever. You'd be lucky to consistently get video and sound quality this good on a video call today, let alone in the dark dial-up days.
Agent Wilmore?
Yes.
Ah, we're in the right place.
And no, I'm not going to apologise for that, because any appearance by the Lone Gunman deserves celebrating. Yeah, we had the brief appearance by Frohickey back on disc 1, but finally that call to them is going to pay off. And they're all here for the party!
How did you get this address?
Well, we assumed you had the standard issue bureau box on your desktop. And all those are equipped for full duplex video conferencing, though nobody ever uses it. So we just looked you up in the Peekaboo white pages, which list the DNS entry and IP address of every Peekaboo-equipped machine in the country. Pretty straightforward, really. You want Janet Reno's number?
No, I'll pass, thanks.
Are you sure? She keeps the computer in the bedroom.
Oh my god! As short as this party is, it's so engrossing and in character that it desperately makes me want to go watch an episode with the gunman in! Again, I beg the answer to the question, why did we have to wait until the final disc of the game for this awesomeness?
Who are you?
Friends of Agent Scully.
Some of us are more than just friends.
She asked us to contact him.
What do you want?
Agent Scully contacted us with information about the case you're working on.
Now, based on what Dana told us, we believe that there's a top-secret facility in Alaska involved.
Okay, what's the big deal about Alaska?
Well, this facility is used as a nexus point for most of the government's West Coast boxcar work. If this is true, Mulder's in incredible danger.
This facility was built in the early 60s. We think they chose Alaska so they can use the Aurora Borealis to hide UFO traffic into and out of the base. We also think an alien craft recovered in the Pacific is stored there.
What's boxcar work?
Ah, one of the great unspoken peace dividends. The government has a massive network of rail cars, which they can use as mobile surgical theaters, autopsy rooms, and quarantine facilities.
These boxcars have a twofold purpose.
They allow the government to quickly pick up and transport stray EBEs, and they serve as a mobile base of operations for a series of genetic experiments.
What kind of genetic experiments?
The cross-pollinization of the human race, intermingling human DNA with genetic material from EBEs.
Great, I don't believe this. Suddenly I'm Barbara Bain to you and Martin Landau.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be an obscure Space 1999 or Mission Impossible reference. Unless I miss something, they're not on a displaced moon lost in space. And if she's comparing Wilmore to Rolling Hands, then just... you know... no, that's definitely not even remotely conceivable.
Where's Mulder?
We're not sure, but knowing Mulder, if there's a trail leading to this facility, he's following it. Scully mentioned an unidentified man who was of some concern. Did you manage to determine his identity?
Yeah, Dr. Jonathan Rausch, a Navy surgeon.
Now, where's he stationed?
Eisenhower Field, Alaska.
Oh yeah, that's the guy. He served a stint in Perky, West Virginia?
Yes.
This is bad.
Listen, you have to get there. Mulder may not have much time left. First go to Rauch's house and then on to the secret base.
Okay, how do I get to the base?
Well, Scully said you had a PDA?
Yeah.
Great. I'll email you the GPS coordinates of the base.
There's a fax. A Canadian border guard was found dead this morning from massive unexplained burns, and Mulder's rental car was observed crossing the Canadian border into Alaska. I don't believe this.
Well, that's it then.
No doubt about it. You're gonna have to get there ASAP. I just uploaded the GPS data.
Okay, if you want to keep Mulder alive, we gotta get moving. You get to Roush's, you're probably gonna want to take a charter flight. The island's gonna be too busy. I'll keep everything nailed down here. Contact the Juneau field office, get you some backup. Think you can scare up a charter flight for this man?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, let's go.
You want a window or an aisle seat?
Well, maybe you should come with me.
I don't think so.
Why not? It's your case, too.
Yeah, Alaska's a little outside my jurisdiction. Besides, I have real detective work to do. You be safe.
I will.
No kiss goodbye? No I'll see you when you get back? We never see Esther Dorian again, unless you get one of the special death scenes that I wasn't able to get for some reason when I captured this footage. And I just feel that she deserved a much better send-off for somebody who's essentially been the co-star this whole time. As much fun as I've made about these two, Paige Witt has carried the character exceptionally well considering the script she was given. And I'm genuinely sad that we never got to see her reprise the role in the TV show. Onwards we must go on our own though, so open your PDA and check your email for the message from the gunman to get the coordinates for Juneau, Alaska, uploaded to your GPS. I thought they were sending me the coordinates for the base, not Roush's home as well, but this is the only way you can make Alaska accessible. Head to Roush's home for some reason, and after spotting somebody hastily leave the premises, go in and up the stairs to the top floor, where you'll find Roush's unconscious body covered in a thick layer of purity.
Hey, wait. What happened to you? Where's Mo?
I have to assume the developers were in a rush near the end of production of this, because I haven't badly edited those lines. They really do all cut off too early. It's bizarre because, apart from a couple exceptions, the conversation files have been all well done up to this point, and it's not too much of an issue later, so I'm baffled as to why this wasn't paid attention to. Anyway, look at the easily missable skeleton hanging from the top of the screen to access the attic.
Jeez, man, do I know you?
Cable guy. You alright?
No.
What's the matter?
My foot's gone to sleep.
Agent Wilmore, FBI.
Funny, I took you for a spook.
Murder!
I've been looking for you.
Well, you found me.
I've spoken with Scully.
How is she?
She's better. She's out of the hospital.
No, it's a sanitarium. I dropped her off there after she was shot in the warehouse. I called the Seattle office for more backup, but all they sent me was more cleaners from the NSA.
Who'd you speak to?
I didn't have time to ask. We barely got away. I didn't want to notify anybody of Scully's whereabouts because I didn't know who I could trust.
Seeing as only 3 agents work at this whole friggin' office, see, I knew not letting that one go would help eventually. And we sure as hell know Wilmore's not bright enough to be working both sides. There can be only 2 suspects. Guess who my money's on?
How did you get here?
I was in a rail yard when Roush kidnapped me and stole my car. I always wanted to see the Pacific Northwest. Unfortunately, there's not much view from the trunk.
This is a very Mulder thing to say, but it does come off a little lazy, as it's very similar to his line in 731, which is being highly referenced here.
Scully, let me tell you, you haven't seen America till you've seen it from a train.
Roush is downstairs.
You're kidding. He didn't flame you?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing. What condition is he in?
Unconscious and covered in 40-weight motor oil.
Oh, Roush. Yeah, he always did have a kinky streak.
Again, I have to be dubious about this very in-character line. Mulder encountered a victim of the black oil in Piper Maru, who was also covered in a residual substance. Clearly Mulder's aware that Rausch was infected at some point, so why make such a flippant remark instead of getting to the hard facts and telling us who else was in the house? Or, even more importantly, if the Black Oil Entity was so desperate to get back to its ship at the base, why stop off and dump Mulder here? Was Mulder infected before or after he was kidnapped? Victims possessed by Purity have been shown to have no recollection of events while they were infected. But even Mulder's bullshitting us? Or the writers have completely forgotten about that gas station video from earlier?
Well, let me guess. Was this rail yard on rural Route 1121?
You got it. They use it as a staging area.
Yeah, so I've been told. Frohickey sends his love.
Huge error! Frohickey never disclosed any of their names. So, where did Wilmore get it from? He even later says that he got coordinates from 3 men via video conference, but knows nothing more. Again, I'm left feeling really frustrated with how little the script seems to have straight who's doing what, when and where, and who knows what information.
You're quite the social butterfly. Frohickey, Rausch, Scully. Do you know Skinner?
Yeah, he set me on the case.
I should have known.
Why did Rausch kidnap you?
Rausch is a Navy surgeon who's involved in alien experimentation. The alien that controlled him, or controls him, crashed into the sea 2 months ago.
You did say the alien that controlled him.
Well, there's a species of alien that can use humans as host. The parasite completely takes over the target human, even gaining access to knowledge that the human possesses. The only way you can tell the difference is there's a thin film of black oil that swims over the victim's eyes. The crew of the Tarracon came across one of these Valdez-type aliens, who promptly nuked them. The government apprehended it and put it in one of their boxcars, but somebody screwed up and it escaped.
Yeah, there are still big holes in this story I can't believe Wilmore hasn't addressed.
Yeah, Rausch had that same black film on his eyes.
I was going to nitpick that one, but for once I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you're lucky he didn't try to kill you. I'm pretty sure the alien's trying to get back to its ship. That's why it used Rausch to get here, but I have no idea where that ship might be.
As I was coming up, I saw a man in black fatigues leaving the house.
We've got to catch up with him. He's the new host. But we have to figure out where they're headed.
I know. I was given the location of a secret government facility by 3 men via video conference.
Oh, that sounds like a reliable source.
Yes.
Agent Wilmore, it's Dana Scully. Where are you?
Juneau, Alaska.
Have you found Mulder?
Yeah, he's right here.
Thank God. Can I talk to him?
It's Scully.
Scully, where are you?
I'm on my way to Juneau.
Well, who's your travel agent?
Byers, Frohickey, and Langley.
God love him. Do you have your cell phone with you?
Yes.
All right, I'll call you back.
Because I want to tell you in private how glad I am you're okay, and God, I can't wait to see you again and maybe wrap both my arms around you. There's actually a quick little Easter egg that the programmers took the time to put in here that many probably don't even realise exists. If you very quickly pull your gun from the inventory as soon as you answer the phone and shoot the person wearing the hat and jacket who passes in front of Scully at the beginning of the cutscene, you'll get a fun picture of the crew behind the scenes. Even better is the picture shown depends on the position of the woman on the screen when you shoot. I managed to get 4 different poses, and I'm pretty sure that there's no more. I actually accidentally stumbled on this years ago when, as a joke, I tried shooting Scully. Yeah, don't do that, by the way. Apparently it's illegal or some bullshit like that. But it was only when I was going through the strategy guide to research for this rant that I learned the woman is one of the lead programmers. This is so random, it stops you seeing Mulder and Scully's phone conversation, and some of the badly 1990s photoshopped tidbits here and there are bizarre. Why she's cosplaying as Dr. Insano here before Dr. Insano even existed is beyond me, but it's fun to see the crew being silly, and it's just a great little nugget to uncover.
All right, then, let's get going. Great, it looks like we got some uninvited guests.
NSA?
Or Jehovah's Witnesses. I need you to keep them busy for me long enough to meet Scully back at that facility, then you get away and meet us there.
Hold on. I was assigned to find you and Scully. I've done that. I'm out of here.
What kind of attitude is that? The game's not over yet. Don't you want to wait around for the payoff?
Nice little nod to the gamers playing that might have thought this was the end, but I've played the real ending. To say there's payoff is stretching the truth just a little.
Okay.
Anyway, head back downstairs and save before you leave the property, as you have two options coming up that can be treacherous. One of which is not to go with the NSA because, well, let's just say Craig Wilmore will never be heard from ever again if you do that.
Agent Wilmore, we're with the National Security Agency. We've been tracking a plutonium smuggling ring from the former Soviet Union to Yugoslavia through Hong Kong and into Seattle. Now, we have hard evidence that the Terrachem was a courier ship which carried goods from outside the 7-mile zone. Plutonium killed the crew, as well as the man who died in Charno. Your investigation here is over, Agent Wilmore. You will immediately board a plane for Seattle. We will assume your duties here. We will take you to the airport now.
It's him.
Thank you.
Cue what I was referencing earlier when I wasn't sure if the cigarette butt found at the warehouse was from old Smokey or somebody else. We don't properly learn of Cook's involvement until the next scene, and this doesn't necessarily confirm any wrongdoing on his part. But as somebody who did die several times at this part of the game, I always felt that this severely took away from the impact of the reveal later, with the ominous setting and dramatic music at the end as Cook lights a cigarette. I get that they needed a scene like this in there somewhere, but for as much fun as I've had picking on Cook's obviousness, I also feel like it's detrimental to the game. At the least, they could have left out the music that highlights the point. You have to love the idea of all the bad guys in the XF universe smoking Morleys, though. Do you think they have a special store that all the conspirators hang out at? Or does CSM just hand out packs at each meeting? Getting back to the game, as I said, you have two options here. You can attempt to gun down the two agents. Bear in mind how finicky that process was and how pixel perfect you were required to be back at Smolnikov's warehouse. It is doable and the quicker option, but it's a bit of a risk and depends on how many times you want to keep attempting this. Alternatively, I prefer the option where you turn right and make a run for it into the woods, accompanied by the best music in this game that's not done by Mark Snow. Tricky to navigate, and you have to act quickly to avoid being shot by the pursuing men. but if you turn right, head forward twice, and then click on the tree roots ahead of you, you'll pull a Frodo Baggins and hide until the agents decide to search elsewhere. I may take issue with 95% of this game, but I tell you what, when it does something good, it does it exceptionally well. The atmosphere, the familiar woods, the action, the driving music, it just all gels together. You may not have to do much here, and it's very short, but I sincerely always get an adrenaline rush from this, which gets me pumped for the final location of the game. And my only real problem with it is that it doesn't go on longer. There's no time for bemoaning that though, as Wilmore speeds to meet up with Scully at the secret military base, where apparently everybody's been irradiated.
His burns match the others. Mulder's gone on ahead. I don't think we have much time.
Oh well, that's that then. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Wait, just one more thing. Mulder and Scully met up and we didn't get to see that reunion? Screw you, hyperbole. I take back everything nice I said about this pile of shit. Thankfully, there's not much more to sit through, so grit your teeth while you wonder why you can't question Scully about the victims, and head through the door ahead of you to be attacked by the soundtrack. You know how much I like the music in the last scene? Yeah, this is my least favourite sound in the whole game. And I use the term sound on purpose because there is no way this can ever be regarded as music. It sounds like a computer dying. Either that or somebody fell asleep at the synthesizer. Anyway, be sure to save your game before you go any further. And if there is one rule I will warn you about regarding this whole place, do not. I repeat, do not ever go near the closet with jars in at the back of the storeroom that's down the hallway with 2 laundry carts at the entryway. Just don't. It's the most terrifying thing you could ever imagine.
Agent Wilmore, I'm glad you're here. I know where Agent Mulder is. Come with me.
See? I told you not to mess with her. Although, is this where I get to joke about Mulder passing on the black oil while they were kissing each other's faces off or exchanging bodily fluids some other way? Is that why we didn't get to see their reunion? Oh, the fanfic ideas rolling around in my head at the moment are endless. In all seriousness though, this shocked the hell out of me back in the day. Banff Scully is an absolute joy to watch on the show. But this isn't badass Scully or pissed off because you've hurt her baby daddy Scully or even the losing her frickin' mind pod person Scully of season 9. No, this is possessed by an alien and determined to get to its spaceship using whatever murderous means necessary Scully. And that is something you should never be on the same planet as, let alone in the same building. So, yeah, avoid that area at all costs. Where I do recommend you go though is through the 3rd door to your left. Turn right once in the room to find...
I need your help, Scully. I need 2 of these keys to get past the blast door and into the storage chamber. I need for you to help me.
If the encounter with Scary Scully or the previous victims should have taught you anything, it's that this entity has no time for small talk or some confused FBI agent getting in its way. So don't bother trying to question Mulder unless you want him to flash you. And I don't mean in the good red Speedo wearing kind of way. tell Scully to get her little legs moving in the opposite direction, though, I have to bring up the consistently persisting problem number 14. Arguably it's in the same vein as the previous issue, so I guess it should be more problem 13.5. But whatever. This game's lucky I'm not listing and highlighting way more problems with it. What the f*** is going on with Mulder? Can the scriptwriter please lay out the chain of events? He was clearly possessed by the black oil when he encountered the military guy. But then what? There was no sign whatsoever of the key indicator that he was infected at Rausch's house, so what? Did the alien leave him and then conveniently retake over his body when Wilmore wasn't looking? Scully said that Mulder had gone on ahead, but she doesn't seem to have noticed the oil swirling around in his eyes either. So did the entity jump back in him within the last 5 minutes? I don't mean to sound stupid. I'm just trying to get everything straight in my head, because something tells me the story writers didn't have things all in order in theirs. On further consideration, I guess the implication is that the oil was in the guy that fled from Rausch's home and jumped back into Mulder here. But it seems rather stupid for the alien to keep doing this back and forth. And I want to know why we never got to see an unconscious Mulder covered in the oily residue. And while I'm thinking about it, how the hell did Mulder get to the base before me? I'm going to assume that he got hold of Scully again after leaving Rausch's to find out where the facility is. And at a push, I'll even go with the notion that the runaway from the NSA option was the in-canon selection to make. But what are we supposed to believe Wilmore did after gunning down the agents if you made that choice? Did Scully send a text begging, please give us an hour? So much of the beginning of this game's story is plotting. Barely anything happens. But it just feels once things do start to move along, nobody's able to put all the puzzle pieces in the right place. Admittedly, this isn't the worst error or continuity issue in the whole game. We'll get to that soon enough, but I just really find that it niggles at me. Anyway, tell Scully to run and you'll end up in the room with the evil storage closet of death. You remember what I said about going near there, right?
Come with me.
Well, it turns out that's not the only place you can die here. Quickly retrieve your gun from your inventory, turn right and prepare to shoot the armed guard the instant he appears on the screen, because there is no room for error and very little time to react here. Much like at Smolnikov's warehouse, the hitbox detection is absolutely atrocious and sometimes seems more based on luck rather than skill, even though the target is larger. That said, you could make things even more impossible for yourself and try going forward instead of turning. The guard will already have spun around and the game refuses to acknowledge any of your attempted shots. I had to sort through over 20 minutes of footage with me completely f***ing this up time and time and time again, so save yourself the hassle and just be prepared. And don't step any further into this room.
Come with me.
I want my mommy. Bumpy head.